let's get the show on the road, and let's just all say very quickly a very happy birthday to Jan.
Happy birthday!
Birthday, Jan!
She made me laugh so much today because she wrote a letter to Francis of the stakeholders group in New York, explaining that she's having this epiphany and changing, and that she was transitioning from being transitioning to become a no-no, a octogenarian. From the octogenarian state. And I thought that was really a great thing, and it was a no-no. Wonderful, Jan.
A no-no-gerian.
A no-no. That was extraordinary. So this is how we're going to play it this evening. We would like all of you, please, to write in the chat box the one word that comes to mind when you think about dear Jan Hively. Just in the chat box as we're going along. You don't have to do it immediately, but you need to put that in, please, before the session is over. And then secondly, what we're going to ask you to do once Jan has explained her epiphany, we're going to ask you, each of you, to think of one incident, one discussion, one lesson, one something that you have had in an exchange with Jan that you would like to recall. And as you can see, we are 45 people on this call. So if you all take 3 minutes, we'll be here until midnight. So we need to keep it as precise as possible. And with that, I'm just going to quickly say to Jan, tell me about your epiphany.
Epiphany is today, by the way, just in case people didn't know. And typically, I think that in the Christian religion, it has to do with when the wise men came to see the newborn baby in the corral or wherever he was, bassinet. But I think that actually the word epiphany comes from Greece, and I think it simply means having an aha along the way. I feel that my whole life is made up of ahas, where suddenly I see something differently, I have a different take on it, and then things change from there on. So having an epiphany at this point, actually, as I suggested to Moira a couple of years ago, I am coming up on 90, and it's time now for me to stop spending 12 hours a day in front of the computer. I'm sick to death of myself in that mode, because there's just no time to just let my thoughts flow in whatever direction they want to go. It's always a matter of keeping focused to respond to this message or that message or whatever. And so it was time then to start planning for what Moira so graciously calls my evolving. Actually, I must say that coming up to 90, I do see that there's changes in my thinking. I think that distractions are more powerful, that it's more difficult to keep my focus. And I think that I'm really looking forward to letting the thoughts go wherever they want to, out the window to look at the trees of the birds, or wherever. But that's one kind of transition that I'm feeling. Another one, though, is the feeling that it's time to be closer to family. We came here, Tom Lacey, my partner, who you can see on the screen, and I, 10 years ago, to take care, to be here for a 93-year-old who was in hospice. Well, she fortunately, we moved here. She graduated out of hospice, and she had a couple of other good years before she died at age 96. Our next cousin developed lung cancer in 2018, and we were caregivers for her until she passed last July. But now there's no relatives anymore around here. And I had the good fortune of visiting my daughter, Kate, who's on the screen also, in Seattle in August, and going on a trip with her and my son, who came from Washington, around Washington and Oregon, seeing my one grandchild, my granddaughter in Oregon, and thinking about, gosh, this is a really nice place. I see that Alain Gauthier, is it, from Portland, is on the screen. And I want to say that I hope that about a year from now that Tom and I will be located right where you are in Portland, Oregon, because I really want to be, my granddaughter is going to be married in June. My prospective grandson-in-law as sister will share the responsibility with me of being a flower girl. I will scatter the roses as I may on the hay, because it's not going to be in a farm on Whidbey Island. But the main thing is she wants to have children, and I want to be there for the next generation. I miss intergenerational relationships, and I see that it's been much more difficult here to work on the programs, intergenerational programs like our intergenerational model, United Nations, that Kathy Bailey, who's on the screen, invented. Much more difficult now that COVID is here, because really there's very little interaction with school children that's feasible and possible. Intergenerational is where we're at. And I feel that pretty much all that we need to think about is should be across generations, to appreciate the fact that we need to combat ageism from both ends, because we have think about Greta Thunberg, for example. We have so many young people who are wonderful leaders, so we can be encouraging their leadership, as well as thinking about older adult leadership and our advocacy for ourselves and others. Building community, intergenerational communities. That's where kind of another transition that I'm thinking about, and being closer to family. And finally, I just want to, comment on the fact that here we have this wonderful partner, my best friend, I think I can call her, because I talk to her every day, Moira. And we have the blessing of this extraordinary Zoom, so that we can talk with people around the world. I feel as if I know you, Grace, in Cape Town. And I'm not sure if I've ever actually seen you in person, Linda, in South Africa, but I know that I feel as if I know you through and through. And that is such a remarkable thing. And besides that, we don't have to wear masks when we're on the Zoom calls, which is so dramatic and great. So I'm just, it's such a pleasure to be with people from all of these different dimensions of my rich background of it, because where I really fit, I'm basically a lifetime volunteer. I mean, yes, I've been paid for what I do here and there, but I've had the pleasure of going and being employed where I had previously volunteered. Now I think about 6 times in my life, plus starting 3, 4 other networks of people. What I find is that the best way to make a friend is to work collaboratively on things that you feel passionate about. And I think that each of you, I treasure for the friendship that we've had. But this call is particularly for people who have been on Pass It On Network. And I do want to just comment on the fact that this is a network of people who believe in the potential, our human potential, and that we can share across geographic boundaries to become good friends and to share each other's workshops. For example, Grace in Cape Town gives these workshop circles, this conversation circles using TED Talks as her, they all listen together and they talk about it. I mean, we can do that. There's so much to elicit deep, rich conversation that makes life worthwhile. Back to you, Moira. Are you there?
Yes, I am indeed. Thank you so much, Jan, for sharing all of that with us and for really opening your heart to us, making us share and understand where you're at. It's just wonderful, and it's such a pleasure to see Tom with us and Kate and Dean. Really a delight. Now, to everyone here who's present, Jan's opened her heart to us, and we're going to give you the chance to open up and tell her just to give a very short incident of where Jan has touched your life. And I'd like to start with Linda Smith in South Africa, because Linda is one of the very first people who believed in our project and who joined us right in the beginning in 2013. Linda, can I call on you, please? And is Linda there? I know she was here, but anyway, if Linda,
here.
I'm sorry?
She was here.
Yes, indeed she was.
What about Cullen?
Yes, absolutely. Well, then we'll turn to Cullen. Cullen?
Oh, okay. Sorry. I got my glasses on. I forgot to put my contacts. It's still
Cullen is in Hawaii. And
yeah, it's a little early right now, so I just got out recently. Anyway, I've certainly been most appreciative of Jan's help. You know, she's been like a cheerleader to me, and she came to Hawaii about a little bit more than a year ago with her daughter, she spoke at one of our annual meetings for our family caregiver group, and I really certainly appreciated that. And then we took some time after that and drove around the island and just enjoyed the scenery, and we became great friends as a result. You know, so thank you so much for everything that you've been doing and introducing me to other people throughout the world. So that's been wonderful. Thank you so much, Jan.
right.
Thank you very much, Cullen. Let me call on Margaret. Margaret from Canada. There you go.
Yeah, I know before I met Jan and Pass It On Network and Maura, I've always been focused on the vulnerability and equity side of aging. But having come in contact with Jan, oh, sorry, I think
Sorry,
there might be.
could everyone who's not talking please mute themselves? Thank you.
Yeah, so and then meeting Jan and seeing her spirit, whenever we talk about an opportunity or a challenge or, you know, something that's a social justice issue, her response is always, let's do it. How can we do it? Let's move on and do it. So that drive, that momentum, that commitment really show me the potential that we have, as Jan mentioned, as a human race, and that I can see myself doing that, you know, in my 100-year life, if I live to be 100. So thank you for being the inspiration.
Not only do you see yourself, but you actually are out there doing it, Margaret. Margaret has been our lead now at the United Nations for the Pass On Network.
Thank you. Meg Rose, it's so good to see you. Can I call on you? Hi. Just unmute yourself, please.
Hi, Maura. Really nice to see you. And of course, we're here for Jan because she is just so amazing. And I met Jan probably about 20 years ago, she started an amazing program in Minneapolis called Shift. And that's how I got to know her. And I've moved all over the country, and I think Jan sort of has too in the meantime, but I've been so delighted to be able to keep in touch with her a little bit. I think Jan is the most amazing mentor. I treasure her and what she can do, and always feel like a nothing in comparison. But you guys give me hope that maybe I can accomplish something. Anyway, and the other thing about Jan that's so amazing is she's such a connector. Look at all these people here from all over the world. That is her real true gift of pulling everyone in and seeing possibilities in everybody. And I think the world of you, Jan.
Thank you. Whenever you see anybody climbing up to the top of a mountain, you can think about Meg, because she's always there.
Thank you so much. I'd now like to call on Peter Whitehouse. Peter?
Great.
So, Jan, wonderful to be with you at any time in any space. It's a little bit of a challenge for me to think up of concrete situations. I have this feeling that we kind of merged together a little bit around the positive aging movement and Rick Moody, but and your memory is probably better than mine, but I can't remember. I was looking for photographs of you to see if I could prime my memory. Couldn't find them. Okay, to keep this short. So I'll just say one thing. The work you've done with Moira and others on the United Nations is so important to try to take it to this high level policy. And you would always tolerate me. I remember one time when I said, why on earth don't the people that are concerned about children talk to the people who are concerned about older people? And you kind of supported me in that. Yeah, I loved your last message. As I said in my chat room, your epiphany is that everything is relatives. So this idea that you're now focusing on your continued engagement with your own family is a lovely message to hear. So great to be with you, and I look forward to other chances for interaction. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Ramsey, can I call on you, please?
It would be my pleasure. Just so happy to be with you all. And this is what Jan does best. She really is that convener, that facilitator of great ideas, great people. It's just been such a pleasure, Jan. I think it's been over 13 years, if I count, my time at AARP, NCOA, Wider Opportunities for Women, that I've had the pleasure of collaborating with you. And I think you're truly a role model. You're a mentor, a fierce advocate, a visionary. When I think of those early days of our first collaboration, when you invited me to help out with the advocacy leadership for positive aging modules, you were looking at everything, I think, brain health to financial security to empower self and others. You were really keying in to the need for all to age well and to have the advocacy and the tools in order to do so. And then taking it to the global stage to really shift the global paradigm. Wow, just truly an inspiration, Jan.
And tell me how many children you have now.
Just two girls,
Right.
but you knew me pre-babies, and those babies now are 9 and 8. So,
Wonderful.
yep.
Wonderful to be able to accomplish all that in addition to all your career. Wow.
and just always inspired by you, Jan. So I look forward to staying in touch and appreciate your focus on family, but I have a feeling you'll continue to dabble because you are a change maker and a powerhouse. So best wishes to you.
Well, Ramsey, I can tell you, I really hope and pray that you're right on that score. Okay, Linda, can I call on you? Linda's our oldest Pass It On pioneer since 2013.
Right, yeah, so thank you. And Jan, happy birthday again to someone who is without a doubt an international treasure. And over the years that I've watched the Pass It On Network grow, it's been so amazing to see your humble way in which you share, that you're engaged, that you care, that you connect us. And so You're not going anywhere. You're still got this entire connection around you who's going to follow you into the next season. And just from the bottom of my heart, thank you for who you are in my life. As I've said often, I want to be like Jan when I'm 90.
Thank you so much, Linda. And now let's stay in Southern Africa. Rebecca, are you hearing me? Can you come in and talk? Rebecca is one of our most recent liaisons from Botswana in Southern Africa. Can you hear me, Rebecca?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I am. I
There you
just
are.
don't know where to start because I just met Jen some few months ago. You know, I'm just very new, but so inspiring. You know, you meet her once and you feel like you'll be able to do whatever has been standing on your way. She is really an inspiration to us. A groundbreaker. I mean, you listen to her talking, you listen to her ideas, you say, wow, I can learn a lot. I've learned a lot in the short time I've known Jen, and I want to say happy birthday, Jen, and keep inspiring us all the way, all the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you very much. Kathy, we'd love to hear from you. Kathy Bailey.
Hi, everyone. Sorry you can't see my face, but as a typical Cape Codder, I have a few skin cancer removals today, and I look like a hot mess. But I wouldn't miss celebrating with Jan and making sure she knows how much I love her from the bottom of my heart. We've been roommates at maybe an NCOA conference. I was trying to remember, Jan. We've been partners in crime here on Cape Cod with our intergenerational lens on age-friendly community building. And we had a small sabbatical to China, where my greatest moment was watching Jan on the last day, looking out over the water and talking about how she thought at that point in her life she was a Taoist. And I had no clue what that was. So I was enlightened by her on many levels on that trip. So to Jan, for all the knowledge you've shared, all the people you've connected me with, and all the heart that you've given in the world, keep going. Keep going.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Kathy. Grace from Cape Town.
Jan, it's been a great thrill and pleasure to get to know you through the Zoom room. And I really value the fact that I seem to have made an impression on you, just as I made an impression on Margaret Young, because a few people that I've met in the international Zoom room in the past 2 years have just contacted me and said, oh, I'd like to know more about you. It seems to me that maybe my personality manifests in a particular way. And I appreciate the recognition you have given me, Jan. And you've also given me the idea that you can all check in the chat. I've actually given my contact details, because why don't we form a TED Circles group for our organization? It's another way for seniors to interact, stimulate each other's minds, and get to know each other. So thank you for giving me that idea, Jan, and thank you for noticing me. You are my role model, just as Linda said. I also think I'm usually very often the oldest in the group, and it's so nice to have you to look up to and be able to model myself on.
Wonderful.
Good luck for your 90s.
Thank you, Grace. Sylvia Zweifel, all the way from South America, Argentina, Buenos Aires.
I need to say that we also identify Sylvia as our innovative leader of innovation, because she always comes up with something absolutely creative and new.
Quite.
Thank you, Jan. This is your words always touch something in my heart. And I will recall the first time we met with Jan and Moira, and it was so nurturing, because this enthusiasm was with us. And it is something that always connects in my heart when I think of you. And as someone said here, you are going nowhere because you are in, at least in my heart, in our hearts. And in this network, we are very, 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 how do you say, very lucky, fortunate to have a role model like you to move forward with this movement, this evolutionary movement we are in. Because something that is so tangible is that each time we are with you, we are with someone who truly believes in human potential and shows us in so many ways to I don't know if that's the word, to unleash that potential, to bring it up. So I'm very, very, very grateful. And that's the one word for me. Gratefulness, perhaps. Yes, so that's it, Jan. Thank you so much. Oh.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. Rick Moody, can I call on you? Can you just unmute yourself?
You're muted, Rick.
There we go.
I ought to be muted more extensively, but you called upon me, so I will respond. And I say I should be muted because I spoke on Monday at our gathering, also celebrating Jan's birthday. And I said then what I'll say now, which is that I can't remember when I first met Jan, but I'm sure it was at a positive aging conference.
Yeah.
And more recently, we've worked together on trying to promote fundraising for the Pass It On Network. But the thing I want to say about Jan is it really relates to somebody once described me as a great connector, but I don't hold a candle to Jan Hively.
Oh.
And I'll make the comparison this way. For nearly 50 years, I have been greatly influenced by Peter Drucker, who I never met. And it was a great regret on my part that I never had a chance to meet him or see him in person, because literally every day I'm thinking about him. And he said something which to me encapsulates Jan's approach to life, which I would like to be my approach to life, which is why she's my mentor. He said, feed the opportunities, starve the problems. I can't think of a better way to summarize what Jan Hively has meant to me.
Wow.
That's a pretty big thing to say, and I certainly appreciate it.
I didn't meet Peter Drucker, but I met Jan Hively.
Super. Wow, what a quote.
Thank you.
Feed the opportunities and starve the problems. Wow, that is amazing. And now I'm going to call on Rains Cohen.
Thank you. I'm honored to follow in the footsteps of Rick and Jan and so many. I feel like in my work in aging community and finding the field of positive aging, I'm going around, I'm picking up crumbs, and a lot of them are Jan's crumbs. I can see like with those, Washington slept here, George Washington slept here. Jan Hively established a group here, and so many of the pieces as I connections and try to map out what's out there. It's like, okay, Pass It On Network is already doing this kind of work. How can we help the other people see that and work together better? And so I really appreciate the work you've done and continue to do, and everybody inspired by you. If we can get all of us to focus that, I think we can even build on that legacy and keep it going into the future.
Rains, it's an honor. Thank you very much.
Oh, that is wonderful. And now let's call on Jolene Maloney.
Joellen Malone, who is one of the leaders of co-housing.
Oh, wow. Can you just unmute yourself, please? We need you to unmute yourself, Jolyn. Oops. Oops, now she's disappeared. Okay, let's move on quickly then and come back to her. Let me call on Dori Minsa. Dori? Dear Dori.
I'm delighted to be here. I'm sorry I had to be late, but I had a client before. I just feel so honored to know Jan and to have been, you know, knowing you and following all your work with the Pass It On Network and all these other projects that you've been involved in. I met you in 2007 when I met Maura and sort of watched and have followed the evolution of this wonderful organization that you've developed, and feel honored that I sort of have been part of it in my own little inactive way from the start. I view Jan as a way shower, sort of showing the way. That term I learned from Olivia Ames Hobbitsville in her Aging with Wisdom. And I wrote a chapter actually about Jan in a retirement association book called Out of the Box Retirement. I wrote a chapter on Jan as a hero and a way shower, you know, about, you know, everything that she's accomplished. And I just think you're so special and a gem. And I'm just honored to be a friend and just watch all of this evolve, and, you know, to just have watched this over the years. And you've always been so supportive of me and all of my various endeavors. And it just feels like a beautiful, wonderful, mutual friendship and relationship that we have. And I just so treasure it, you know, in time with you and Tom and meeting your family and just honoring you. And you are a true role model. So thank you for being here and celebrating with you for your 90th.
Oh, you're wonderful, Dory. Thank you so much. And everything. Do you mind? I want to point out someone I haven't seen for years. Is here, and her name is, where is she? Oh dear.
Who is she?
Jerry Lou Matson.
Ah.
Is she here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh.
There you are.
There I am.
This is a woman who was my assistant. How many times and how many organizations?
Oh, with Don Fraser when you started Youth Trust. And I don't know how many times you
and the schools,
all
the
time.
school plan.
It's
just wonderful.
Yes, the last time I saw you, I came out to Cape Cod. It was wonderful. And I have to admit, when I think back on Jan, what I remember is when she says it will take an hour, plan on 40. Everything we did, oh, don't worry, we'll get that done in an hour or two, and it would take weeks. But we always went through, we always did it. And later on today, I'm going to set up an apartment for refugees because she hooks you into volunteering and doing things. And if you can't do the global, then you come down to your local level and do what you can do. And I have to admit, I miss you, Jan.
I love you, Jerry Lou. Thank you. Right.
And Tom, too.
Thank you.
Hi, Moira, I'm here.
Hi, Beatrice come in to us from Zimbabwe. Beatrice is our representative in Zimbabwe.
Yes, Jan, I haven't met you physically, but it feels like I know you very much. You are so warm. I can feel the warmth, your warmth, I mean, just by seeing you on Zoom and talking to you. And your history, I mean, I've learned so much, especially that time when we're working on the open-ended speeches, and you were there representing us. So thank you so much. Happy birthday, Jan, and God bless you. I wish you many more years, relaxed years, take it easy, and I hope we will continue seeing you.
Thank you so much, Beatrice.
Thank you,
Beatrice has done so much. She wrote a letter to was it the president of of Zimbabwe?
Yes, and I ended up having a meeting with him.
Yes, isn't that wonderful? And you had a meeting with him, and he is doing good work for older people as a result.
And it's all because of Pion. I mean, I got that push from Pion. So thank you very much, Jan, and thank you, Moira.
Thank you, Beatrice.
Thank you. Beatrice is an accomplished author, and she's just had her 12th book published. To tell you that. And I think staying on the African continent, David Mark, can you come in? David's had a really bad dose of COVID, so I'm not too sure if his voice is okay. David, can you come in? You need to unmute.
Moira, David said in the chat that he is not able to talk, that he's under the weather, but he sent a message that's a lovely message in the chat.
Oh, super. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Moira,
Thank you for being here, David. Thank you for being here.
I'm sorry, just check the chat. I can't talk. I'm sorry. Happy birthday.
David, just to know that we love you. And,
love you too.
And get better. Get better. Yeah. We know you're a dear friend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry, okay. Moira.
Yes.
Sorry, Moira, but to say thank you so much, David. He's doing so much with me right now, and I appreciate your assistance, David, and I wish you to get well soon.
Thank you, Beatrice. That's lovely. This is what the Pass It On Network is about, helping each other. Megan from Botswana, can you come in? Megan? Oops. There we go.
She is.
Please unmute yourself. Just unmute yourself.
Okay, hello everyone. Jan, happy birthday. I'm so happy for you. I wish you could see how happy I am for you. We have forged so many synergies around the globe because of Pion and because of your input. And Moira, I'm so happy to have met you, and I'm so happy to be involved with you. You are such an inspiration, especially to me, because I get so encouraged to see you work the way you do at your age. I'm a person who usually gives up, but each time I'm giving up on too much work, and when I can't cope, I always say, if Jan could do her PhD at 69, why can't I do this? I'm not yet even 69. So you are such an inspiration, and that keeps me going, because I know how hard it is to do a PhD. So the moment I think that someone did it at 69 and passed and does what she does, then I'm like, well, I should keep on going, because I did mine when I was younger and it was so hard. So I'll always look up to you and say, if you are a really true role model to all of us, so please keep it up. Don't despair. Your epiphany is you can't stop, because you can't stop because you are wanted, your services are required. So I want you to rest, but do whatever you can to keep us going. Thank you so much. Enjoy your birthday.
Thank you very much indeed, Megan. Thank you very much indeed. And Dr. Bisi from Nigeria, can you unmute yourself, please? Oops.
She was on a minute ago.
Okay, we can't hear you because you're muted at the moment, BC. I'm just going to move along then to Jolyn, whom we lost a while back. Can you come in, Jolyn, now?
Okay. Wow.
Okay. Then we go back to Dr. BC for the moment, and then to Jolyn afterwards.
Joellen Malone.
Oh, goodness me. You muted again, Dr. BC. Oh, I know. Okay, sorry. Let me go back to Jolyn Malone. Can you unmute yourself and talk to us, Jolyn? Oops. Okay. Let's just move on while we sort out this problem. Alexandra Whitnell, sorry.
Hello, my name is Withnell. I've never
Sorry.
met Janet in person, but I was introduced to the Pastoral Network by my good friend Pat Spadafora in Ontario, and I've really benefited from your wisdom and from getting to know so many of you through these chats. So happy birthday, Jan, and thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to get to know you.
Thank you very much.
I'm in the UK, by the way.
Okay, great. Great. And Laura Roscos from Massachusetts.
And we have worked together.
We have, indeed. I feel so privileged to be part of this party, to see you, Jan, in this broader context. Because I got to know you through WILF, through our local chapter of the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom, where when you came here, you were working passionately on water issues and water as a human right. And you brought some very creative ideas for public demonstrations with you when you came. And we were able to do those, and they were lots of fun. And I thought then about some of the ways that you have cared for me and made me feel attended to as I've gone through various changes, as have you. And what I so appreciate about you, which may sound mundane, but is not at all, is that you always come prepared. Whether it's a simple one-on-one conversation, a small group meeting, or a public ceremony, you always make the most of every opportunity to be with other people. When we did, you gave one of the awards at our first Age Forward employer breakfasts, and the speech you prepared elevated that event to something that could have been very kind of silly and parochial, to something that really mattered and really touched people and touched off sparks in the people who were there. I have so appreciated your friendship, and I'm sorry to hear about your future plans, but I am also very glad that you have future plans and to know that change is always possible in our lives as we age. So thank you for letting me be here, and thank you for letting me be in your life.
Same here. Thank you.
Wow. And now I'd like to call on Tom Muttle from Boston.
Jan, it's been a pleasure and a privilege to get to know you over the last 2 years. And I don't know how many times the word inspirational has been used here, but to me, as I've gotten to know you, you set the bar and the standard for the use of that term. And thank you for introducing me to what's going on in the world globally with aging in place and community. Thank you very much. And on a more personal observation, when I've referred to you in our workings, I say, you know, it's great to work with a person like Jan, because when you touch on something that she's interested in, it's like hanging on to the tail of a rocket that goes off. Thank you so much, Jan.
Thank you.
Best wishes.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
This is Joellen Malone, and I'm available now.
Who's that? Sorry?
Joellen Malone.
Oh, super. Please go ahead.
Somehow I've got my...
You're echoing.
Yeah.
Have you got two devices open at the same time?
I'm trying to shut one of them off.
Okay. Would you like to switch it off and we'll come back to you, or are you going to switch it off straight away?
I figure it out. Come back to me.
Okay, fine. Will you just mute yourself then, please? Okay, fine. Lynn Barrett, I'd love to hear from you.
I just wrote a long thing in the chat. I was going to
I think we need to let people know, because they may be interested in this area, that Lynn is the expert. Talk about pioneer, taking us by the hand into virtual reality. And,
I just wrote about that, Jan.
Second Life. And I just think that it's an extraordinary opportunity for people to partner with you.
Oh, thank you, Jana. Well, let me just read what I wrote here. I said, you're one of the most, I just said, you're one of the most adventurous and curious people that I know. You were willing to try out a virtual world when I invited you into it. And you keep talking with me about this brave new world that I'm involved with, which is a very intergenerational world, which is one of the things I love about it. You're also one of the warmest people I know. I wish we lived closer. And I just learned that you're also a WILF member. I joined WILF in Vermont in 1965 when I met Carmelita Hinton. I don't know if you all knew her, who became my ideal of an older woman when I was 26. You've taken her place for many years now, since you are just enough ahead of me, not that much ahead of me, to show me a path toward 90. So I'd say, I want you to know how much knowing you has meant to me. And by the way, we have good friends in Portland that we visit when there's no COVID. So
it's great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good. Let us see. How about Aneta from Slovakia? Aneta's our representative in Slovakia, and please go.
Jan, happy birthday from the Central Europe. I'm awfully sorry, but we know each other only virtually.
Right.
People having opportunity to congratulate you before me said a lot of ideas when I was on my mind, but I must underline that you are for me a very strong personality, very strong human being who is able to guide us to the future, to your idea, to your vision, to intercontinental understanding of aging. And this is my message from the Central Europe, because I'm working in senior area years and years, but I understand aging only in probably in European I don't know border, not larger. And here in Pacific network, I understand that there is intercontinental problem, very nice, demonstrated without borders, without barriers, with a lot of understanding of different people from different conditions, from several continents and several states, having different opportunity for the development. Thank you very much, and once again, happy birthday.
Thank you, Aneta.
Thank you, Aneta.
Could I jump in, Moira? This is
yes, please do.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kate Snyder. I'm Jan's daughter. And as you heard, my brother Dean is also here on the Zoom. Hi, Dean. It's just so wonderful to witness your celebration of Mom and what she and Moira have accomplished in their founding and building of the Pass It On Network. You know, I just think it's stunning the development of a robust global network in which all of you are able to provide support for one another and for your communities. And it's so clear that strong friendships and connections are made in the process. I think you guys know that Mom and Moira have brought Pass It On to where it is without any outside funding. You know, this has been done with their frugality and grit and amazing contribution of years of volunteer time and their own small amount of savings as well. And this network that you're all part of has been built with their love. In honor of Mom and to support her legacy, I'd really like to ask all of you to join with me in supporting the future of the Pass It On network. This morning, I went onto the website and I made a financial contribution by using that donate button, which was super simple with PayPal I used, but with a credit card or PayPal. And I would just ask you all to give as generously as you're able, financially, but also with your time and talents. We're thrilled that Mom is at her 90th birthday, stepping away from the daily responsibilities for the organization and transitioning into the pleasure of being able to just be a member of the Pass It On community with time for reflection and connection and inspiration and continuing to be close friends with all of you and making more. And her transition away from those daily organizational responsibilities, I think really opens up a huge opportunity for you all to step in and assist Moira in moving forward. And I know you're all doing that, and you can find others to also help. And so I just really urge you to get more involved and to provide the financial support you're able in celebration of the most wonderful and inspirational friend and colleague, mother and grandmother, Jan.
Oh,
love you.
Wow. Wow, thank you. Gee.
Yep. Yep. That's a legacy right there, right?
Unbelievable. Yes,
Yay, my
unbelievable.
daughter.
Unbelievable. Oh, goodness me. Joan Ditson, can I call on you to follow Kate?
Well, it's hard to follow Kate because she just spreads the most amazing message. I mean, I've known Jan totally inspiring. I've known Jan through the Life Planning Network and Positive Aging. We've always shared feminist values and a social conscience. And I also want to say, Jan is this amazing connector, amazing collaborator, and I am in awe of this organization. I think Jan and Maura have created, as Kate just said, this amazing organization, changing attitudes towards older adults, empowering older adults, creating a global community. And it's unique in the world, I think. And I remember in the early Positive Aging conferences and conversations with Jan, when you and Maura and Jan were working on it, and it evolves so naturally and organically and fluidly. I mean, it's really kind of awesome. So that's amazing. And, you know, Jan, this is just one of the things that Jan's done in her 90 years. She has created so many networks, and she's such a gifted person in that. And I just treasure Jan, our friendship, our relationship, love her, and just wish her happy birthday. And look forward to her evolving transitions, which will be awesome, I know.
Thank you.
Amazing. And what about Jackie Stark? Where's Jackie? Jackie Stark?
Yes, I'm pretty new. It's a little noisy in McDonald's. They have music playing in the background. I'm new to this. I met Jan via Maura, who came to Vienna to participate in a workshop. And then when I came to Cape Cod, where my mother lived, we got to know each other better. And I think the most amazing thing, all the things you said, I can't repeat them, and I haven't known Jan so long, is that I was fascinated at dinner when Jan and Tom sat on our new patio, and she told about her life, all of the different positions she had held, vice mayor in Minneapolis, and her ideas and everything. We were just so fascinated and so proud to know you, Jan. And I really, even though you're making transitions in your life, and I really believe it's important to have the personal aspect of your family near you and enjoy your family. It's so important. But I really hope you continue to do all that, yeah, as much as you can, just for yourself too, because it's so important to keep active. I know that so many people stop doing things and it's not good. And I don't think you'll do that, but I'm just putting in a push that you don't even think about it, okay? Happy birthday, and we'll see each other on Saturday.
Right. Right. No, I certainly, but I do want to focus on the lifelong, those things that are lifelong, and multi-generational.
Right, let's hop to the island of Mauritius and call on Vijay. Vijay is a great fighter for the rights of older people. Vijay.
Thank you, Moira. You know, not too long ago, I joined PION on the recommendation of the then Minister of Education in Mauritius. And then when I saw on the Zoom, Moira and Jan had the same age as my late mother. You can imagine the love, the sentiment that I have for you, Jan.
Thank you.
And I saw you speaking with an open mind, with an open heart, because you are like goes the African proverb, a kind of mountainous library. You're the custodian of wisdom that you have amassed during 90 years. Much respect for that. And before I wish you happy birthday, let me say that I wish that you continue to inspire us, to be in contact with us, at least through Moira, because I know so many of us, we are numerous around the world. Me from Mauritius, our friend from Zimbabwe, others from England, from the US, so we are many. Moira would be the gateway, if I may use this word, between us and you. So let me wish you a good health, the same enthusiasm and ambition, because we need people who are ambitious as you. And you have, let me say, you have instilled in me that inspiration. Thank you very much for that. Happy birthday, Jan.
Thank you, Vijay.
Oh,
thank you.
It's amazing. Jan, I'm afraid Dean had to go, and I'm not sure if he's left already. Otherwise, I would have asked him.
I'm still here. I could.
Oh, good. Let's hear you, Dean.
I just wanted to say I'm very impressed by everyone here. It's lovely to see such international communication and organization. It's so rare that really that happens on such a regular basis. Moira, it's great to see you, and thank you for keeping on. And I'm looking forward to this next phase, as Mom says, where she's not in front of her computer all the time, but really gets to just tap in her thoughtfulness in the place where it's inspired and needed. And I really have faith in all of you to keep all of this great organization going. Mom, I love you. It's been wonderful seeing all the tributes to you over these past few days. And keep up the good work, everyone. And hopefully we'll be doing this for decades to come.
Thank you, Dean.
Yeah, and he's, by the way, works in climate action. Both my son and daughter are environmental people.
Wow.
She's an environmental engineer and he's a soil and water research scientist. And both of them are trying to get rid of pollution and make the world a better place. That's wonderful.
Bye-bye. Bye, Dean.
Do you think it's time to wind up, Moira?
I don't think so. Does anybody need? I think we should just go on and on.
Oh,
Can I jump in here, Myra?
Sorry?
Can I jump in here? This is Neil.
Yes,
great.
yes, please do.
And please tell everybody about that wonderful document that we should be promoting for everyone.
Thanks for the introduction. I will do that. You know, I'm honored to have known you, just both of you, for just about a year and learn about Pass It On. I'm also honored looking at all these members to even be invited to this. The tough part is I keep writing notes, and then as someone talks, I cross out more things. So I'm running out of new things to say about Jan, but she has been a real help to me in launching My Life Directory, which is my mission. She's been a cheerleader, and My Life Directory is really designed to support all of you in your mission for your elders and families. And I can tell you lots more about it, but I won't now. There's information in the chat room about the directory, which is something to use to support your members for fundraising, to help them and their families in cases of emergency where information is needed when an elder or a senior can no longer manage, even temporarily. So thanks for so much for having me here. And my information is in the chat room if you have questions. I'd like to continue, Mara and Jan, to find ways to support Pass It On. There's got to be some way we can do this nationally and internationally. So thanks very much for inviting me.
Thank you very much. I think then, Jan, at this point, it would be a good time to say to those of you who have dinner dates or other dates and need to go off, if there's anybody among you who would like to say a few words to Jan, please declare. Luann and Hans, and then Pat. Okay.
Thank you so much. And I did have to run off. So it's a gift to be here, as all of you have said. And I just feel so privileged to be here. I first saw and met Jan at a conference about 15 years ago, and she was up there speaking. And I was just awestruck. I thought I'd never seen or heard anyone with such vitality. I was just amazed. As soon as she got off stage, I went over and said, I've got to get to know you. And she was kind enough to let me follow her around for the rest of the conference. and we've been friends ever since. One of the things quickly that she said at that conference, and she's mentioned before, we are the ones. You know, that Indian proverb, or but I was saying, I'm doing a workshop, wonder if no one shows up or only a few people. And she said, the people that are there are the ones that are meant to be there. And don't forget that. And I feel like we are the ones. Here we're together, and Jan has brought us together. And I've carried that with me in the last 15 to 20 years since we met. And Jan, I plan to follow you around for the rest of your life. And so get ready. Happy birthday. Thank you.
Thank you, Luann. Thank you.
Jan, wasn't it Luann who at the Encore conference in San Francisco, at the very end, when the master of ceremonies said, right, this is the time to gather your takeaways, and Luann popped up and said, Jan Hively.
I knew it then, and I still do. Love you, Jan.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, and then I think Hans wanted to say a few words, Jan.
Oh, and Joellen still hasn't spoken to hear.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I won't keep you too long, but I need to thank you, Jan. I mean, it was my lucky day when I was looking at the internet and found something called Pass It On Network. And I wanted the newsletter of that network. And I think immediately, or even, maybe next day, I got an email from Moira wondering whether I would like to be a liaison for Iceland. And I just couldn't say no. And that was my happy decision, because since then I have had the enormous enjoyment of participating and discussing with you both, Moira and Jan. And I admire you, Jan, because our discussion, I would have liked to meet you in the real space, but even our discussions in virtual space have been so much encouraging for all the project work we have been doing in Iceland, and what you have so much positive feedback that we have got, and I've learned a lot from you, and I hope I will hear more from you in the future.
Yes.
But anyway, happy birthday, and please have. I hope you have an active, prosperous, and healthy decades ahead.
My daughter said, just be sure on this call that you don't make commitments to another project. And, I have to tell you that Hans has some great projects.
Take that gleam out of your eyes.
Oh, wow. It's very tempting because there's so much to be done with what he's already done. With his warehouse for learning, a warehouse for learning.
Okay. Pat Spadafora from Canada, Ontario. Pat?
Thank you. Happy birthday again, Jan. It is really just such an honor to be here today. I don't know about the rest of you, but if you were to touch my hands right now, they're freezing because I keep having goosebumps when I hear you speak. But I have totally lost track now of all of the wonderful adjectives that you've used to describe Jan today. And certainly, like a previous speaker who said he was crossing things off, all of them ring so true. So I'll just maybe add one other thought that maybe just frames things a little bit differently when I think about you, Jan, and that is that you're not only interesting, you're interested. And so to me, that's just, one of the real hallmarks of active or healthy aging is staying interested in your surroundings, staying interested in people, staying interested in doing things. Someone mentioned curious, which kind of falls into that same area. And what you've done for me, I can't even really describe in this kind of a setting. But one word that was used today was by VJ, who mentioned a library with reference to you. And that kind of resonated with me because I thought, in some ways, I think of you as being like an encyclopedia of wisdom, of knowledge, of experiences, of projects. And several times over I think it's about 3 years that I met you, Jan, so not as long as many on the call today. But anytime I have an idea or something I want to get some advice on, Jan is the go-to person. And unfailingly, somebody that you put me in touch with. I remember Generations United, when we were talking about intergenerational programming. There was other projects where I look around and in my mail in Canada arrives an envelope of information that I can use. And you mentioned a warehouse of learning yourself. You're such just such an amazing resource for all of us. And I am happy for you that you are going to have this time that you talked about where you can let ideas and reflections flow, spend time with your family, be there for your granddaughter's wedding. But like others have expressed, I hope you will still remain part of this amazing network that you and Moira have created. It's, I've been involved over many decades now myself in a number of organizations. And I have to say that Peon is the one that touches my heart more than any other. So thank you for the opportunity to meet you virtually. Like your friend Jacqueline said, seeing you on Saturday, I'm thinking, I want to see you on Saturday. So I still hope in my heart that I get to meet you in person one day, Jan. But thank you for everything you've done. Have a great celebration with lots of cake.
We have not met in person?
No, only on Zoom.
That's crazy. I feel that's amazing. That's the value of Zoom calls, I guess. It's just amazing, isn't it?
Thank you for everything, Jan.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you.
Wow.
And I just want to give Tom a
Elizabeth.
chance to speak for just a minute,
Yes.
because he's my partner.
Come, Tom.
Tom, do you want to say anything?
Just unmute, please.
You have to unmute yourself. There you go.
Okay. Tom Lacey, as with the other day's Zoom call that Dory hosted, I was absolutely overwhelmed by the gracious and thoughtful comments.
Thank you.
From associates of both Moira and Jan. I've experienced them at close range, especially Jan. I've known her for 45 years, which is pretty close to half her life. We've been a couple for 30 years this year. And so I've witnessed her firsthand, and I can verify everything that's been said today is accurate and understated, actually. And one word that she missed the other day, missed hearing from the other participants, was indispensable. So I'm going to latch on to that.
And it was said by Rick Moody, you see. And he's indispensable, so.
Indomitable is my word from the other day, and I plan to be with Jan for the next 90 years.
Well, we're all dispensable. That's for sure. Thank you, Tom. Thanks.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you for hosting this, Moira. You've done a wonderful job as usual, and
Thank
one
you,
of my
Tom.
favorite people in this world.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. And then I saw Elizabeth Fadela, who needs to talk to us as well. Elizabeth?
All right, good. I unmuted before I was told to unmute. That's good. Thank you, Maura, for pulling all this together. It's wonderful. And I'm struck by not only the broad geographic diversity on this Zoom call, but the age diversity. And I think both of those characteristics speak to Jan's outreach and what she values and what she's accomplished. It's so impressive. And I'm not going to repeat what everyone else has said. So I wanted to throw in something a little different, which is I've been reading, doing some research about the long campaign for women's suffrage in this country as well as in other countries around the world. The campaign for women's suffrage and equal rights. And reading about women like Lucy Stone, who headed up a lot of that long struggle. And I think that Jan deserves to be in that pantheon of remarkable women in particular who have made such a difference in so many people's lives, and with her focus on aging, of course, but in so many other ways. And there were earlier times in her life when her focus was, before she was really focused on aging. And when I first met her, that was in the 1990s. At that time, she was trying to build up the teacher workforce, which is something I was working on at the time. So Jan is someone has called her a Renaissance woman. She's certainly remarkable in every way. And before I have to give up my little platform here, I wanted to say to Tom and Jan that yesterday we reserved a house on Cape Cod in July, and I hope you'll still be there. I hope you will not have moved to Portland, and we'll see you in July.
Super.
Thank you for the opportunity to share a few thoughts and wish Jan all the best.
Thank you.
Right, now what are we going to do?
We're going to say goodbye.
Are we going to say goodbye? I'm sure there are other people who want to still talk.
Jan, I want to say a few words.
Right,
You know I'm not big on talking in front of people, but I just wanted to tell you I love you. I will miss you. I'll miss seeing you regularly. I hope you'll still poke your head in from time to time on Zoom or something, but I've known you for the last, decade or so, and I'm so happy that I got to meet you and Maura both.
And we owe you so much.
Oh, good.
So many thanks. Thank you.
You don't owe me anything.
Yes, we do.
Oh.
Thank you.
Penny, bless you.
I'm wondering if I can poke my head in here. This is Joellen Malone.
Please do.
And my computer is unstable, so that's my problem here. But if I don't get cut off. So Jan was extremely active. She's always been active wherever she is, and she started the Vital Aging Network here in the Minneapolis area, Twin Cities. And that has been such an inspiration to me. And it's just so lovely to be in on this call and to be able to say thank you once again for all that you've done for us.
Are you still living in co-housing, Joellen?
Yes, I am. Yes, I live in at Monterey Co-housing Community. And if for those of you who don't know about co-housing, it's just a wonderful way to live in community with other people where we all have our own individual lodging, housing, but we also share a lot of common space, and we have meals together very regularly. COVID has made a little bit of a dent in that, but we, so we are a community of, I think it's 26 households, and it's just, if you know anything about co-housing and have any inclination to find out more about it, please do. Anyway, Jan, it's just so lovely to be able to say happy birthday and thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Right, now I would like to just say, who would like to say a few words? Who hasn't had the chance to yet? Silence. Osnet. Oh, there you go.
I'm the silent one. I was thinking about what everybody has said, and one of the things that strikes me is that other than the fact that Jan is such a record of being in so many importance and starting so many important initiatives, she does not move on. She stays with them. So it's a lifetime of accumulation, and she's done it in only 90 years, which is quite remarkable. And I am when I listen to everybody, I get the sense that any initiative, she's still there, she's still following it, she's still supporting it. And I'm so happy that Pass It On Network is continued to be one of them. And I wish you, Jan, many more years of active curiosity. And I hope that we continue to be in touch, and thank you very much for being there for me and for all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Osnet. Is there anyone else who would like to say a few words? Okay.
This is Jan Marie Lundgren. Hi, Jan.
Thank you.
I've seen you recently, but I just wanted to add, I know a new second verse to the boring happy birthday song. I'm not going to sing it to you because my voice isn't good today, but it says, and I wish for you, from good friends and true, from old friends and new, may good luck go with you and happiness too.
Good. Oh, wonderful.
I like that. Yeah.
How would you like to type that into the chat box, Jan Marie?
Will do.
Super.
I tried and it got split up, so I'll try again.
Okay, fine.
So much.
Okay, fine. And who haven't we heard from yet? I think there is somebody still on the screen that we haven't. Jerry Lou Matson, we did hear from you.
Yes, we did. Yes.
We did indeed. Who else?
Joanna Lees, I think. We have
Yes,
not
we
heard.
haven't.
She may not be behind there now.
Oh, okay, I'm not sure.
Great. I think you've heard from
Yeah.
the rest.
And Dr. BC, did you have your few words? We got in between with your. Did you manage to turn your speaker off? There we go.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah. Happy birthday, Jan.
Hi,
Been
Dr.
so
Beasley.
lovely. It's been amazing and lovely getting to know you. You've been all that everybody has said. And I pray that God will continue to give you more grace with joy to pursue your passions. Many happy returns of today. Thank you for all you've been to all of us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Beasley.
Yes.
So, Jan, may I say a few words?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
as long as they're not, well, yes.
Well,
Whatever you say, Moira, is yeah. I say yes to.
No. Now that you've become a no-no, I'm going to be. I think you probably might take a different aspect. I love the no-no. I really do. I think it's great. It's just typical of you, just to make light of something like that and just to make it that's wonderful. But I have, Jan, it's just been and is so beautiful. I met you, and like Luann said, you certainly changed the course of my life. You really did.
I know.
And how?
and mine.
Yeah.
Mine.
And I've done, I would never ever have done what I have done if it hadn't been for you. And my dearest wish is that our friendship will continue to grow and to deepen. And number one, and number two, that I will in just some way be able to carry our network and to find everybody and do it as a collaborative and a partnership with everybody. Because in order to fill the role that you've been filling, we need a whole prism of people, each one to play a different aspect of all these extraordinary characteristics that people have talked about you. And having worked really, as Tom said, so intimately with you over the last years, every single one of them rings perfectly true. And I'm privileged and I'm grateful and I love you, Jan.
Oh, Moira,
Forever.
I think that it's so important for all of us to fill in all of the spaces to provide support for you, because you are the most gracious person I've ever known. And you are filled with grace, Moira, and I love you very much.
Thank you, Jan.
It's been a great privilege to work with you. Thank you. Thank you for everyone.
Thank you,
everyone
everybody.
here. I appreciate so much what you have said, but what you haven't said also, which is what we do together when we do meaningful work. Meaningful work through the last breath.
Exactly.
That's what it will be. And that will make a good death for every one of us. As we walk into the universe. Out there in the universe.
Right.
And what a miracle it is. What a miracle. Have you seen this new telescope that they have set out into the distance?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. There is so much that is miraculous. And among other things, added longevity. We are miraculous ourselves.
We are.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Big hugs.
Big hugs.